Hey boys and girls, before we left for spring break, we were reading Adeline and the Purple Fox. I wanted to finish that up so you know how it ends. So in Adeline and the Purple Fox, just to review, Adeline and Mr. Monroe were cleaning out their closet. They had a lot of things stored in there and everything was falling all over the place. And when they did that, they found some things they wanted to throw away, including these "This Way Up" stickers. When they went to throw them away, they met the Purple Fox. The Purple Fox lives in a garbage can, and he showed Adeline and Mr. Monroe all around his garbage can home. Later, the Purple Fox took Adeline and Mr. Monroe on a tour around the city at night, showing them all the different animals that you can find in his city at night. There were blue flamingos. They've been finding a lot of poems on lamp posts written by the lamppost poet. He took them to this spot where they saw meerkats pop out of manholes, and they saw a herd of tiny miniature zebra crossing the street. So I'm going to go ahead and go to where we left off. When we left off, Adeline and Mr. Monroe had met a lot of interesting people, and they decided to have a dinner party and invite them all. Chapter 8. The next day, Adeline and Mr. Monroe made folded paper invitations and people place settings for their dinner party. Adeline was very good in the paper folding class at Alice B. Smith School. Mr. Monroe liked cutting out the paper people. This is how Adeline folded her invitations. You can learn how to make your own fortune teller if you want to follow these instructions, or go to page 176. Adeline asked each of her guests to wear something a little different. These were her paper people that she was using at the table settings. When they had finished, Adeline gave the invitations to Max, the paper boy, to deliver to each of the guests personally. All, that is, except for the one for the bear and his friends in the basement. Adeline delivered that one when she went to do her laundry. 3 days later, her guests arrived at the party. The bear was wearing a long scarf. She had slippers, sunglasses, a false beard, princess, and he brought his robot with him. Murr and Miss McIntosh were almost the last to arrive. "I like your pajamas," said Adeline. Everybody chatted until the dinner gong sounded. "The Purple Fox is late," said Adeline. The first course was served by the Home Cooked Meal Company. "Delicious tomato soup," said Murr, "and Miss McIntosh loves her Choco Flakes. It's all she ever eats." They had super duper soup for their first course. The second course was served. "Yummy pasta," said the bear, slurping a strand of spaghetti into his mouth. "There's no sign of this Purple Fox of yours," said Cecily. "Are you sure you didn't make him up, Adeline? I once had a blue kangaroo as an imaginary friend." "Do you have an imaginary friend?" Pudding was served. "This dessert is divine," cooed Mrs. Pasternak. "You must give me the recipe." After dinner, everyone went into the living room for fun and games. They were just about to begin when there was a tap, tap, tap at the window. It was the Purple Fox. The Crimson Vixen held the window open, and he stepped off the fire escape and into the living room. "I'm so sorry I'm late," he said, "but my assistant was late opening my mail." "She does look a little distracted," said Adeline. "Does she?" said the Purple Fox. "I hadn't noticed." "Well, I never!" exclaimed the Purple Fox when Adeline introduced him to Murr. "You two could be sisters, you're so alike." Now you mention it, said Adeline thoughtfully. Now, who wants to play Pillow Island Hopping? Pillow Island Hopping is when you jump from pillow to pillow without touching the floor. Sounds like a good game to play at home. The purple fox was very good at jumping from pillow to pillow, but gallantly allowed Cecily to win. Then they played Truth or Stare, and the purple fox told them about the most embarrassing thing that had ever happened to him, and everyone laughed because he told the story so well. What I didn't realize until the next morning was my new bin belonged to Murray's Goulash Shack. Truth or Stare tells a true story or climb the stairs. When it was her turn, the Crimson Vixen chose to climb the stairs to the roof instead. Mr. Monroe and Miss McIntosh went with her to keep her company. They were gone for quite a long time. When they got back from the roof, the others were just finishing a game of musical bears. Musical bears is when a bear picks you up and dances until the music stops. Is that the time? Said Cecily. I really must be going. Mumbles and I have got carriage croquet in the morning. It's been a lovely morning. It's been a lovely evening. Everyone agreed. The Crimson Vixen shook Adeline's hand and then shook Mr. Monroe's. Thank you for inviting me, she said shyly. After the guests had left, Mr. Monroe showed Adeline the rest of the lamppost poems he had collected. Adeline asked if she could brush Mr. Monroe's hair. It helped her think, especially when she had plans to make and tricky puzzles to solve. When she had finished brushing, Adeline began to plait Mr. Monroe's hair. Plait is another word for braid. I think we should try to help the lamppost poet, she said thoughtfully, and I'm working on a plan.